Start it out.
Welcome to the 2020-2021 Academic and Scholarship Awards. It is a pleasure to have you all with us, students, parents, families, and special guests, to celebrate impressive academic accomplishments during the school year. This is the time when teachers, staff, and advisors recognize the hard work and achievements of students in their classrooms and beyond. We also acknowledge the additional support these students receive from their parents, families, and community partners. Let's take a moment and give a round of applause to those who encourage our young people outside of school. It is the mission of the Cordova School District to utilize our unique natural surroundings and the active involvement of parents and community to provide a safe learning environment that offers challenging curricula and activities while developing successful, responsible citizens for the future. If tonight's awards are any indication, we are certainly accomplishing that mission at Cordova High School. We will begin our academic awards by turning our attention to the students and their many successes during the 2020-21 school year. Faculty members will present their respective awards, beginning with Mrs. Adams.
Thank you, Mrs. Williams. And good evening, parents and students. I have the distinction of speaking first, and I'll be brief. I'm Mrs. Adams, and I teach high school English, and this year, for the first time, Alaska history. It's been an interesting school year, and I'm so proud of what we've been able to accomplish, even with the many adjustments we've all had to make. The first group of students to honor tonight are the freshmen of English 9. The 6 students receiving the award for excellence in English have grown in their analytical process, writing skills, and reading experience. 3 are from the morning cohort, and 3 are from the afternoon. I see them continuing to grow as they move on to English 10. And as I call your names, please come up the stairs one at a time to receive your certificates. This year's students earning excellence in English for the morning cohort are Mikey Gasman, Jacob Hamburger, and Ariana Ryan. Congratulations to these hardworking students. English 10 raises the bar from English 9 and introduces students to more complex literature. And this year I have 3 students to recognize, 1 in the morning cohort and 2 in the afternoon. These students are consistent and responsible in all that they do. They set the standard in English 10 by which I measure the work for the class as a whole. The English 10 award for the morning cohort goes to Grace Collins. Congratulations, Grace, and I'm proud of the work we've been able to accomplish together. And finally, AP Language and Composition is a course open to juniors and seniors. It requires students to be committed starting in the summer and up until the exam that they will take at 7:15 tomorrow morning. They have been asked to analyze and argue and synthesize over and over again this year, and tomorrow they will put these skills to work. These students are persistent, thoughtful, curious, and creative. I'm so fortunate to have been their teacher. As I call your names, please come up to the stairs one at a time to receive your certificates. The students earning the awards for excellence in AP Language and Composition this year are Leo Craig, Trevor Dundas, Serena Hirschlib, Mia Stephen Morgan Cresswell, and Andrea Vargas. And of course, I couldn't let them go away without a nerdy English teacher gift. So each of them is getting a book that is either from my private library or something I think that they will, it suits them. So happy reading, you guys. Wish them luck tomorrow morning. Thank you, students, for your hard work, for allowing me to share my days with you in the classroom and online. Thank you.
First of all, I just wanted to say hello, and that I feel very, very fortunate that I get to work with all of your students on a day-to-day basis. In particular, this year, I've been working almost exclusively with junior high, and with these junior high students, I've been teaching them in English, in history, and in art. And within those three fields, I've kind of come up with some different awards that I think really kind of show, just what these students have really done and really succeeded at. And I'm going to go ahead and start with the English awards. So I have some excellence in English awards to begin with. And I'm broken up into two different categories. The first one is the Poet Don't You Know It Award, and that goes to Morgan DeLake. So Morgan DeLake, come on down. You're a poet, don't you know it? And then the second English award goes to Maggie Kirschler. And before she comes down, I just want to say, first of all, her award is for storyteller. And just to give you a sense of just how much of a storyteller Maggie is, she just recently won first place in the 38th Annual Creative Writing Contest done by the University of Alaska in Anchorage and the Anchorage Daily News. So give it up for Maggie Kirschler. So in history, history students are kind of committed to learning the stories and doing the research so that they know the different aspects that go into history. Ultimately, they know that history is messy, and then they have to really dig through some primary and secondary sources to find out kind of the different perspectives and how things work. And the student who is getting this History Buff Award is Alex Gonzalez-Rodeo. When it comes to having in-class discussions, they typically ask powerful questions, and they're really good at encouraging their fellow classmates to really enter the discussion as well. So I'd like to give the Discussion Director Awards to Samaya Faber. Right, and also Hiram Fish. Finally, Michael Harris. star. It's called a sketchbook star because this person continuously makes an effort to really dig into their sketchbook on a week-to-week basis and really create some new and interesting things and really challenge themselves. The second, and actually, yeah, we'll just pass this one out first. So that one goes to Lizzie Hyde-Ring. So. And then the second artwork award goes to somebody who really shows that practice makes progress. In particular, this person has spent an immense amount of time working on her portraiture this year, and has really shown that practice does indeed make progress. So give it up for Shelby Clayson.
Throughout this entire year, no matter how difficult an assignment or activity has been, she has been up to the challenge and given her best. She has also had a consistently positive attitude. Each day she arrives happy to be at school, full of enthusiasm and excited to learn. Come on out. Rose, for your consistent perseverance and positive attitude this year. You have earned the Perseverance and Positivity Award.
last 2 years, I've really learned to enjoy them and appreciate their strengths. And I've got 2 students in particular that have really improved a lot over the last year. And they'll probably know who they are when I say that they often use each other's names in our games that we play in class. And that's Alice Graves and AJ Bourgeois. Award I have for the morning cohort is for computer science. In junior high computer science, students learn about first web page design. First we learn about the internet and computer hardware software. Then we learn about web page design, and finally we get into designing their own game, which we're kind of just finishing up right now. And this person is a great help to me and a great help to all the students in the classroom. So for computer science achievement, I'd like to honor Tegan Hessen. Thank you. It's a privilege to work with your guys' students.
I believe I'm next. My name is Tommy Daniel, and I teach math and science. I'm going to give some awards to some of my math and science students. It's funny, these awards seem like they're nice, but they've done so much work this year. And yeah, I'm going to call you guys up 2 at a time because that's how high I can count. The first 2 are Grayson Bear and Alice Graves. They all have to be in the same class. So the first award that I wrote down, I sat down to do this was Grayson, and I wrote down, talk to him, because if you talk to him, you'll understand. He is so kind and so sharp and quick thinking. I believe he's probably going to be a history teacher here soon. He's doing it now. And the same applies to Alice. They're so engaged in class. We're both in a biology class, and as some of you may have noticed, we've been living through this incredible biology event all year long, and we've been keeping up on a lot of the current research and watching knowledge unfold, watching science in progress, and they both been like super engaged in the whole process. So congratulations, guys. The next 2 I'm going to call up are Trevor Dundas and Andrea Vargas. Trevor and Andrea are both in my AP physics class. I don't know, you guys all probably know these 2. They're both outstanding students. They keep me on my toes immensely, and we covered a lot of material that's, I don't know what to say about that class, but there's a huge amount of material to cover, and we just plug away the whole year without really being able to take a break, and I'm really proud of you. So thank you for teaching me. Next 2 are James Corrales, Ariana biology class, and they're both outstanding students. And they're all three are also in my geometry class, and they're all three outstanding students. And Ariana's friend Frank has got an award for outstanding attendance because he's been here every day on Ariana's. And it's just been a pleasure having all three of you in class every day, day in, day out. And keep me on my toes. Keep me way more than I need to. Thank you. And then, that's the play I'm Leo Brent and Mike Lee. Michael's been my student a couple times, and this year he's in my business class. We're covering optics, so we're dealing with real and virtual images, and real and virtual. But anyway, Michael's just always been a pleasure to have in class. Oftentimes we have the most stimulating discussions about physics' place in the world, science's place in the world, or other things. So we have some incredible discussions, and we are sending forth into the world a tremendous scholar. He's definitely a credit to the school and his town. It's been a pleasure to have you in class. Okay. Mr. Buster? Yes.
Hello, everybody. I'm happy to see you all in real life. Thanks for coming out. I'm doing a couple of awards. I teach home economics and several other things, but my first award is called the Bright Life Award, and it kind of applies to any of my classes. It's for the student that those days where you don't want to come to school, but you're like, oh, the student's going to be there, and they're like a bright light, like they're a beacon, like they make you want to come to work and be the best teacher because they bring the best side of themselves. So this student will know who she is because my descriptor is that every morning she says good morning, and sometimes she'll even change her good morning and turn it into a good morning. I think just for me, maybe for other teachers, but she goes out of her way to greet me, and then when we're in class, she goes out of her way to work as hard as she can and ask questions, to be super involved and helpful. So this Bright Light Award goes to Holly Weiss. Let them know that they have great employability skills, which means, they show up on time, they're respectful, they're problem solvers. So this next group of students I'm calling up is especially unusual for 7th graders to have yes skills. I don't know. But all 4 of my yes awards are 7th graders, and they get it specifically because at the beginning of the school year when we were doing online, and you try to teach somebody how to refer online, it was painful for everybody. So these 4 students arranged and showed up for me to meet them at the non-Nichols playground. I think 3 or 4 different sessions they showed up, and then by the time we all got back into the classroom, we knew each other really well, and they were star embroiderers. And then that same work ethic and that same interest and enthusiasm for my class continued for the rest of the semester. So it was a real honor to work with these students, even though at school they showed their best selves. And so I'd really like to recognize, and I'll call all of their names and they can clap like crazy. Natalia Aiken, Curtis Sancooley, Blake Bailey, and Willow Williams. Also presenting for Miss Mooney, who teaches psychology and government, AK history, and AP US history. She is on maternity leave in English. She has about 9 days for her due date, and so she was thrilled. And I got to talk to her this afternoon. Everything's going fine, but she does have some little tidbits I need to add for her report. So the first awards are her Sigmund Freud Excellence in Psychology Awards, and 2 students received that award this year. She wanted me to let you know that she especially respected their willingness to be reflective and vulnerable in this class. I think the psychology class, they really had to be honest, and they were super involved, and she really appreciated their input in class. So she was really knocked her socks off. And these 2 students are Sam Piper and Trevor Douglas. I'd like to call them up. It is Andrea Vargas, and Serena.
I'm going to give out a couple different awards, but nobody knows what they are. Give out 2 awards. There's 3 students that are getting these 2 awards, only 2 in this cohort has 1. First off, the Silver Nut Award. This student is always pushing themselves, maybe a little help at home also, to do the best that they can. That he uses technology to research different objects, find out, does this really work, or does this not work? So he's making decisions, informed decisions, about what to do and how to run different things. He still has a little corrosion on it, though. We live in kind of a harsh environment, so he has a little corrosion on it. But I believe with a little penetrating oil, that he might be able to get loosened up and really perform well. And this year's Silver Nut Award goes to Noah Collins. till it's over. And you can ask me later and I'll tell you what it's like. I remember going down to Catella once, and out at the oil refineries down there. We hiked up into it, and there's all this old equipment in there, and I found a brass nut on a piece. And I don't know how old that stuff is, but it's old. I turned it. A nut turned. It, turned out. Had no corrosion on it. No, nothing. Nothing was wrong with it. These two students are like that brass nut. They are always at work. They don't complain. They're productive at work or at school. And they're always asking more. Can I be more? Can I do work more? How many of us would like to say, have employees or anybody that says, can I be at work more? These two students do that. They get it, I can give them an assignment, project, say, we're going to do this, and explain a little bit to them, and then get out of the road and watch it happen. So this year, Brass Nut Awards go to Wyatt Sorensen and Braden Beckham.
Good evening. My name's Hans Werner. I do one junior high math class and then everything else is high school math. And this year I've elected to recognize a couple kids in two of the higher classes that I do. First one I'd like to talk about is Algebra 2. And one of the things that I really appreciate about this student is consistency. Like Rich was just talking about, employees just show up on time is half the battle. And this student, I don't know if he missed a day all year that I can think of. And it's so appreciated, especially in this weird abbreviated year that we had with limited class time and trying to literally feel like I'm jamming as much down their throat as I possibly can in that 2 days a week that I get to see them. And so to try to get the most out of a little bit of time. So one guy I'd like to recognize, Sam Piper.
Hi, I'm Mr. Westing, 7th and 12th science teacher here at CJ, Cordova High School. And we all know the year was very different this year. And but we all tried to make the best of sort of the new situation, and there was a lot of positive things that came up as well. And one of them is that this year I did something I've done for a long time, and that was give every student 7 through 10 a chance to do an independent science project. This involves basically them having a chance to use science. Science is a process, and it's a process that has to be learned and it takes practice. And it's a really great learning opportunity when students have a chance to be self-directed and call their own shots about how their project goes. So what I'd like to recognize is there's more students that are going to end up with a good project than what I'm recognizing. But the students I'm recognizing, they're students who were just very persistent. They got on it right away. They started when it came time to show that they had data from doing an experiment that they had a lot of time to work on. They were there, it was on time, and they just stuck with it. And regardless of how curious you are and how much you want to know the answer to your research question, a lot of times that data collection, it's not easy to just keep going and collect enough to be meaningful. So I would like these students to come on up and line up right here, please. Maggie Kirschler, Shelby Gleason, Morgan DeLay, and Michael Harris. I'll let them tell you all the details about their project. You can pull them aside and ask them sometimes. I'm just going to give you a little preview. But first off is Maggie Kirschler. She took this chance to answer a question that was really of use to her, and it had to do with her cat. And she got some data that I think is going to change the way they do some things in their house, and I'll leave the details for her to give her you personally. So Maggie, it was fun following you. So this next student kind of surprised me. A lot of students are talking to me very often about their project. They have questions, and they run into problems, have to problem solve. And this student, it came time to show that there had been an experiment going on, and hadn't heard a lot from her all third quarter. And time came, and she'd done an experiment. It was an experiment with plants, and a lot of times that's especially impressive because the student has to have the foresight to start early because those plants have to grow. And the student is Shelby Gleason. This next student was just very curious about tides and weather, and she kind of looked around for a while trying to find a project that was going to work for her. And she settled on looking at tides and how our low pressure systems have a tendency to throw the predictions that NOAA makes a little haywire. And this student is Morgan DeLay. Okay, and then next present or the next project, it was a little bit of a classic project, but again, the student got on it and did some background research and kind of learned a lot from background research, and it had to do with the browning of apples, just trying to see what you could do to make that be less. And students Michael Harris.
I'm Jeremiah Beckham. a team that was in the top 500 internationally. We got quite a few different awards. And back in the room, if you're interested, we pulled out the robots and some of their awards, so you can check those out on your way out. This year, we've got 2 different cohorts coming up. I'm going to call them up by their team and grade and have them all come up. And then the last bit, before I bring everyone up, is the students spent about 100 hours each or more building on the robot. A normal class in high school is typically 45 to 50 hours, so they put a lot of time, and they do a lot of engineering, math, science, public speaking, and so they get a lot of great skills, and one of the things the school has done is recognize the effort they put in that, and so all the students that are lettered tonight are also getting 1/2 elective credit. So that's another value I get from being in the program. So I'll start with the freshman team. This team, they were the second group that came up from our Lego League. They've been working together for quite a few years. They did surprisingly well and placed in the top 10% in all their events. And really helped raise the bar with the teams here. We had a lot of fun. The ones that are here for Cohort A, engineer and driver Colby Carter. Engineer and gamer Lehigh Fish. Developer and driver Jacob Hemberger. And developer Dominic Harris. You guys are hanging out for the rest of them come up. Overall, they ranked 6th in the state out of 27 teams, so they did really well for a freshman team, highest ranked freshman group so far today at CHS. Next team is the sophomore team. They were the first Lego League group to come up. They had a great first season last year and actually brought the seniors with them to compete at state. And this year they continued on that path and did exceptionally well. They ranked 4th in the state overall. They competed in some events down in the lower 48 and up here, all virtually of course, and they always ranked 4th or higher. And they were the team that placed in the top 500 internationally. And we have engineer and driver Braden Beckham. Engineer and driver Noah Collins. And then our junior team, they were one of the first groups to start up FTC here. They'll be graduating next year. They had an exceptional season. They tripled their score from the beginning of the season and were able to add a lot of advanced functionality. They brought some great mentorship to the group and did quite well as well. They scored 9th in the state and they basically doubled their ranking from last year. So they did really good. We have developer and engineer Jack Harris. Collectively, they put in over 1,000 hours in the last 9 months. We had a little extra long season just due to COVID and the extension. Usually ended in February. This year went till April. But it was a pretty successful season. They all did great, and it was a lot of fun. I wanted to give 2 awards in this group. There's a few in the next one as well. Typically based on each discipline within the program, we try to recognize a student that kind of excels or did something special during the season. This year, we had a student who solved a problem that the prior classes have been working on for about 5 years. And it was kind of funny, we were sitting there and talking about the problem. He looked at it and just went and typed some code and all of a sudden fixed something that literally every class before couldn't resolve. He made a speed button for the robot so they can slow it down super slow and have precision shooting. And he also helped the team get an award for that at state. It was the first time Cordova got a control award, which is for programming. And that award for the code vendor goes to Dominic Harris. The next student, this is an engineer MVP. This student did a lot of the design that you see in some of the robots back there. Always spent time to help other teams and train them how to do different things, whether it was assembling chains or figuring out wiring best practices. And they made a big difference for all the teams, helping them out. And the engineer MVP goes to Brady Beckham. Thanks, guys, for a great season. Great job.
We now move on to 2 awards for 8th graders that not only mark the end of the junior high experience, but also acknowledge exemplary qualities and offer encouragement to these young people as they move into high school. These awards are named in honor of 2 individuals that embody exceptional qualities in their time here at Cordova Junior Senior High School. Al Kay, a teacher and coach, and Josh Nichols, a student. Teachers nominate and vote on these awards each year. The first award is for outstanding sportsmanship. This award recognizes a student who exhibits fair and generous treatment of others, and someone who accepts the responsibility and privilege of representing CHS and Cordova. In and outside the classroom, this student has teamwork on their mind. The 2021 Al Cave Award for Outstanding Sportsmanship for an 8th grader goes to Maggie Kirschler. This award recognizes a student who is kind, considerate, a good athlete, and a friend to everyone. The 2021 Josh Nichols Award for Most Outstanding 8th Grader goes to Thomas Nunstein. Thomas will celebrate in the next ceremony. The last award I will present is Student of the Year. 4 times throughout the school year, students are recognized based on our Wolverine core values of passion, respect, commitment, accountability, and spirit. Students receive individual core value awards, and a student of the quarter is recognized for demonstrating all 5 core values. They are recognized at an assembly and with the financial award from CTC. At the end of the school year, faculty reflect back on the high school student of the quarter and any seniors who were recognized with the core value awards to choose one who most exemplifies these characteristics. Here's what teachers had to say about this year's winner. She has been a thoughtful and hardworking student since she walked into my classroom as a freshman, and has continued to be so, even with the many disappointments of this past year. She is passionate about learning. She strives for excellence. She has enriched all of our classrooms. For her, it is about the learning and the wanting to know and understand. The high grades are just a byproduct of her acting on curiosity. She has always been kind and courteous, a gentle leader, a driven student, and so well-rounded. During the entirety of the homecoming weekend, she put a special touch on the weekend festivities for one student in particular to help make her senior homecoming extra special. You are most definitely going places in a big way. Thank you for being you. Previously recognized as a Wolverine Core Value Award winner for passion her sophomore year, the Student of the Quarter Award winner her junior year, and most recently the Student of the Quarter for the 4th quarter of this, her senior year. This student represents all 5 core values. I'm so pleased to announce that the 2020-2021 Student of the Year is Maya Russin. And Maya will also celebrate her next ceremony. We will now move on to scholarship awards. Applying for scholarships is not for the faint of heart. It begins with research into what's out there, depending on your major, what the school you'd like to apply to, and where that school is, in Alaska or the lower 48, or whether or not your parents are pioneers or fishermen, or if you'd like to dance and sing, or if you'd like to write books or study marine biology, or something else entirely. Then there are resumes to be created, essays to write, questionnaires to fill out, and most likely detailed financial information to provide to complete strangers. Then you must find references, trusted adults who have been your teachers, your bosses, your counselors, your mentors, who are willing to write wonderful things about you. And then there are deadlines, and then the waiting. But sometimes it's all worth it. You are rewarded with a little or a lot of help to pursue your dreams. And that is what we are here to recognize. I will now turn it over to our school counselor, Ms. Denny.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Before we announce the scholarships, I want to take a moment to thank all of our local scholarship contributors. Altogether, you have awarded the senior class $35,384. Thank you for investing in our students. The seniors, when I call your name, come on up. St. Joseph's Catholic Church would like to present the following scholarships to seniors. $1,000 to Brian Allison. And $1,000 to Andrea Vargas. Cordova Community Baptist Church gives the Richard E. Harding Memorial Scholarship in memory of Richard Harding, who served as our pastor 24 years, from 1975 to 1999. This year, their $1,000 scholarship is awarded to Michael Gleason. The Cordova Arts and Pageants Scholarship is awarded to Cordova High School seniors who have a commitment to further their knowledge of the arts at the college level as either major, minor, or elective courses. This year, they're awarding $500 to Andrea Vargas. And Andrea, we're just going to ask you to stay up here. The Miss Iceworm program has long recognized Cordova's outstanding young women. The program's objective is threefold: to recognize high-achieving young women, to provide educational, career, and personal development opportunities, and to award financial scholarships. These students demonstrate good character, hard work, and involvement in school and community. This year, Andrea was the first runner-up and is the winner of a $1,000 scholarship. I'll let you know. The Leora Burley Award, in recognition of scholarship, citizenship, volunteerism, and participation in the arts, the Mount McKinley Lodge No. 5, the ancient, free, and accepted Masons of Alaska, would like to present the Leora Burley Award in the amount of $1,000 to Andrea Vargas. Next, we have the PTA Knoll Palace Memorial Scholarship. The Cordova PTA wants to say thank you to those who applied to our scholarship program and congratulate the winners. It was a pleasure for the committee to read their essays and see all of their outstanding accomplishments. We further want to wish these students well as they graduate from high school and move on to exciting future events. This year, they're awarding $1,000 to Andrea Vargas. And last but not least, Cordova Telecom Cooperative awards scholarships to seniors who will attend an accredited academic or vocational institution. The student's parent or guardian must be an active member of the CTC or CWC. The student must have been a resident of Alaska for not less than 4 years or have attended school in Cordova for at least 2 years, and they must have demonstrated success in an academic or vocational field. This year, Andrea is winning a $2,250 scholarship from CTC. The rest of our local scholarships will be announced at the next ceremony. But before we go, we would like to honor our university scholarships. A couple of our seniors were awarded scholarships from their universities. And so if you just want to stand up where you are, you're both right up front, so you can just stand up and turn around. Brian Allison was awarded from the University a vocal music scholarship for $2,000 a year for 4 years for a total of $8,000. The University Men's Baseball Scholarship at $2,000 a year for a total of $8,000. The Graceland University Grant for Athletics at $5,500 a year for a total of $22,000. And the Graceland University Dean's Scholarship at $12,500 a year for a total of $50,000. Andrea Vargas. Andrea was awarded the University of Portland UP grant at $9,550 a year for a total of $38,200, and the University of Portland Arthur A. Schulte Jr. Scholarship at $22,000 a year for a total of $88,000. Overall, the senior class, including Cohort B, were offered over $381,500 in scholarships and awards this year. Quick word, seniors, you have had a senior year unlike any other, and you have all impressed me. It's been an honor and a pleasure to work with each and every one of you. You will be greatly missed, but I know that you will be successful in whatever you choose for your future. Thank you.
What a great day to be a Wolverine. Thank you to our students for their commitment to excellence. Thank you to our teachers and staff for taking time to recognize these achievements. Thank you to all of the local scholarship donors that invest in the future successes of these young people. And thank you, families, for your support. We're counting down the days until graduation on Saturday, May 15th at 5:30 p.m., so make sure you watch it on our Cordova Wolverines live event streaming channel on YouTube if you can't be here with us in person. We're going to ask you guys to exit to my right, back there by Mr. Sorensen, and to go out of the building through the commons, if you would, please, because we're getting ready for the next ceremony. Thank you so much for coming. Good night.